everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Laura Tran. Should you buy from Fashionphile? Should you buy from StockX? Should you purchase from Brandear Collective, or should you purchase from eBay from a reputable Japanese reseller? Well, I have been an avid shopper in the pre-loved market, and I can give you information about all of these resellers. I might do this in a series of, or in a mini series, depending on how long this video might be. So first of all, let me start off with my most recent experience. Should you purchase from StockX? Now, StockX is, I purchased this pre-loved Alma BB in Epi leather from StockX, and this just arrived this week, and I'm gonna share my experience and give some feedback and my review about my experience with StockX. So StockX traditionally started off as a sneaker reseller. As you know, or some of you may know, sneakers is a big market, and in the world of e-commerce, sneakers is a pretty good market in terms of like there's a lot of movement. So StockX expanded into handbags and other luxury goods such as watches and jewelry, I believe rather recently, probably within the last 2 or 3 years. And while they are really good at the sneaker game, I'm going to just share with you my experience about the luxury market, because it's in that area, and I mean that's the area that I'm shopping in. I mean, I do resell some sneakers, but I'm not a sneakerhead by any means. I love luxury handbags. So in terms of the luxury handbag market, I do feel there are some improvements that they can make. Now keep in mind they are new, and just for point of comparison, I'm going to use Fashionphile, because Fashionphile is, I feel like, a standard, like it's one of the golden standards in terms of a reseller that is based in the USA. So I purchased this bag, the Speedy Bandolier 25 from Fashionphile, and the categorizations on Fashionphile are as follows. It's either like new or it's new, excellent, very good, good, and fair. Now, new is exactly what it is. It's brand new. The bag hasn't been used. It might still have its tags on. It might not, but it, So one thing I love about Fashionphile is what you see is what you get. The item that you're looking at, the photos that you're seeing, that is the actual bag that you are going to be purchasing. And they also have a team where they really inspect every detail. So, this bag was considered very good, and honestly, if you looked at it, no one can really tell that I purchased it pre-loved, unless you're like really scrutinizing it with a magnifying glass. And the only reason that it wasn't qualified as very good is because there was a little bit of wear on the hardware. They said some light corner wear, which I didn't really see, and then the inside, the fabric was a little faded. So they have very, very strict standards that they adhere to, and they list every condition with that particular bag. Like if that particular bag is in excellent condition, maybe it has a little bit of wear on the resin glazing, or it has a little bit of like scratches on the hardware, just from like normal wear, light use. They disclose that. So what you see is what you get. You see the date code that's in the bag. You know exactly what any minor wear and tear is, if it's an excellent or any other condition other than new. I love Fashionphile, and best of all, they have a 30-day return policy, and it's free shipping to receive your bag, and it's free shipping to return, which is what I absolutely love about that, because for me, having a good return policy is a good indicator of a good e-commerce business, a good online business, because the fact is you're not seeing this bag in person, and you don't get to try it on until it arrives at your house, and then you get to see it in person. You get to try it on and see if it's a good fit for you, your lifestyle, your body type, maybe your preference, whatever. Having the bag physically in your hands and being able to like try it out in person is a key component, a very important component of internet shopping, being able to return it if you don't like it. So I love that. Fashionphile has great customer service, another hallmark of a really good internet business or online market. So I can't say enough good things about Fashionphile. I've always had a really good experience with them. I've bought a bag before, and when I received it, I said, you know what, I don't really like it, I returned it. Or maybe I bought something and then I said, you know what, like I'm gonna cancel that order and just wait a little bit longer. And they've always been super responsive, and they've been able to, you know, refund my money right away. And they are based in, I believe, their headquarters are Carlsbad, California. So it's kind of like in my neighborhood, which is, well, south of my neighborhood in Los Angeles. So Fashionphile is awesome. I love it. And they have really good like standards, and you know exactly what you're gonna get, you know. Oh, and the other thing is they do discount bags. Like if the bags have been sitting for 30 days or more, it starts to get a discount 10% at a time. So that's also really cool. I love that. Sometimes, you know, if you get lucky and the timing is right, maybe the bag you want to purchase isn't in super high demand at that very moment, you can actually get that bag at a good discount. And I just love Fashionphile. So nothing but positive things to say about Fashionphile. Let's talk about StockX. So as a fledgling, I want to say emerger into the luxury market, they do have some things to improve on. Here are some things that they do well. I do like the fact that it is kind of like it's kind of free market. So how StockX works is, let's say I have this bag and I want to sell it on StockX. I don't have to take any pictures of it. I don't have to really do anything other than go on StockX, find, you know, on StockX, maybe there's an existing listing for an Alma BB. And this is how StockX works. There's no actual pictures of the actual product that you're buying. It's really more just a stock picture. So there's gonna be stock photos of an Alma BB in epi leather already on StockX. I'm just gonna click on it. I'm gonna name the price that I want, you know, to offer it for. So let's say I'm going to offer this bag for $1,260 US. So I'm gonna put in, you know, that price, and then people can bid. They can put in offers, and you can either accept or you can just stay firm until, you know, someone decides to purchase it at your asking price. So there's, you know, as a seller, there's really no pressure for you to negotiate prices. You kind of look and see, you know, what the highest price that someone is offering, and then you decide, do I want to accept that, or just kind of wait until you know, the right buyer comes along. So it's really easy for sellers. You don't really have to do a lot of legwork. You just have to make sure that your bag is in quote excellent condition, and that's where the quality assurance and the trust that I have in StockX kind of falls apart. Because as a buyer, I've bought one bag from StockX before accidentally. I bought a Neo Noe in Noir, and the asking price at that time that the seller wanted was, I believe, $1,400, and I just put in a bid of, you know, I think $1,230. You know, and I was like, oh, you know, it's like almost $200 less than what they're asking for, and this bag is in high demand. I don't really think they're gonna take my offer. Lo and behold, they did. So I got a Neo Noe Noir for $1,230, which was a great price. And StockX, they only charge the buyer a shipping fee of $13.95, which I find very reasonable as well. So I think I paid like $13.46 or no, $12.46 something total for that bag. So so yeah, and then, you know, I think they did their authentication service. It took about 10 days, maybe more. I think it's about 10 to 15 business days for it to arrive for me. And once I arrived it, I have to say the first impressions of unboxing the bag, as you know, the Neo Noe is kind of like, I think it's like 8 inches in depth or something. So it's kind of like, you know, it's not like a very shallow bag. It is kind of hefty. The box that they packed it in, unfortunately, was too shallow for it. So the bag itself arrived kind of smushed. And I don't know about you, but when I purchase a handbag, and especially in the pre-loved market, like what you're paying for and what you're investing in is a bag that's going to arrive in good condition. It's going to look like new, you know, you want, basically you're a value shopper. If you're buying in the pre-loved market, you love the handbags and you appreciate it, but you also understand, you know, if there's value in what you want to pay, and you just want to save a little bit of money, but you want to get the best, you know, condition, quality bag that you can for your money. So when it arrived in a box that was too shallow for it, I was disappointed, you know. So I inspected the bag. It looked okay. Honestly, it didn't have any visible wear and tear because it was treated leather, and that Neo Noe bag was relatively new. Maybe, I think the date stamp was 2017. But because it wasn't a bag that I particularly wanted for myself, you know, we were shopping for a bag for my mom, and we had just purchased her a brand new Neo Noe. And so I relisted it for sale. And so you know, the thing about StockX also, compared to Fashionphile and other retailers or resellers, is they don't offer a return policy. Once you receive your bag, unless it is inauthentic or severely, you know, visibly not in good condition, you cannot return it. You have 3 days to dispute anything, but really the only claim that you can put in is whether it's an authentic bag or not. Otherwise, the bag that you get, you just have to keep, or you can list for resale. And that's one of my major issues with StockX, because I was expecting an excellent bag and I received it in poor packaging. And so they made money off of the seller who sold that Neo Noe, right? And then I relisted it, and then StockX also made money off of my sale. And their commission fee, StockX, for a seller is 14, so it's a total of 17.5%. So it's very close to the 20% that Poshmark charges you. But so 14.5% of that is commission fees towards StockX, probably for their authentication service, staffing, etc., whatever that covers, I believe. Yeah, and then 3% of that is processing fees, so the credit card processing fees, because StockX holds the money from the buyer, and then they release the funds once they have verified that that bag is authentic. Then they ship to the buyer. So that's one thing that I didn't like about StockX. Number one was that, you know, there wasn't much, I felt like there wasn't much experience in the way that they shipped and cared for their packages versus Fashionphile. Maybe I was spoiled by Fashionphile, because when this bag arrived, if you guys have seen my unboxing, like, it arrived in this beautifully packed box that was full of like confetti and like beautiful packaging, and it was just like a party and a celebration, like opening this bag from Fashionphile. Versus StockX, like I said, maybe because it's a predominantly male or sneaker industry, so you know, when guys buy sneakers, they don't really expect like pretty packaging. They just want it to arrive in good packaging, you know, that's clean. But handbags are different, you know, so that was my first experience with StockX, and I said, okay, you know, I'm in the market for an Alma BB, and I found one, and at that time they gave a 10% discount. So StockX sometimes gives discount, a 10% discount off whatever asking price there was. So I was like, okay, for an Alma BB, you know, I actually will get this for a pretty good price. So I ended up getting this Alma BB. It went for $11.74. So that was like, so that was the price of the bag plus the $13.95 shipping fee that StockX charges. And I was super excited. This bag arrived to me within, I believe, 10 business days. And upon opening it, I was a little disappointed. It looked like, you know, a little bit of the leather had some flaking off, and like some of the treated leather. At first I thought it was like sticky stuff, you know, from a sticker. There were some dents on the handles, and that was about it. And then later on, I also noticed that there was a tiny bit of frayed stitching here in this corner, which I contacted StockX about, and I had been communicating back and forth with their customer service by one of their customer service reps, a guy named Shu, who is very courteous, but the things that he could do were pretty limited. He just said, you know, these are the conditions that we accept the bags in. You know that, you know, we don't accept any bags that have visible corner wear, any, you know, frayed stitching, like visible damage. And then if you really look at the StockX conditions that they list as excellent is online, that's available as in their, you know, frequently asked questions, is very unclear. It's very, it's not specific at all. You're not gonna find anything in particular that's going to describe what they believe or what they believe is excellent. You just kind of, you know, because you don't see pictures of the actual bag that you're getting, it's kind of a gamble. You know, maybe you find something for a really good price, and it's kind of a gamble whether it's actually going to arrive in excellent condition, you know, for the standards set forth by Fashionphile or by Japanese resellers. I got this beautiful bag from a Japanese reseller on eBay. And Japanese resellers, traditionally, they have very high standards as well, and they're actually regulated by the government. They have business licenses to resell, and it's illegal for them to actually sell anything that is counterfeit or to pass it off as authentic. So the laws in Japan, you know, there's a huge reseller market because there is a huge luxury market as well, and so they have very strict standards, which I love. You know, like, I just love that about the Japanese culture, where it's like it's very much based on excellence and reputation and integrity. And this bag, believe it or not, like on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, this bag, they rated it as a 6. And the only reason they really rated it as a 6, I think, was because of like some faint watermarks and like some patina of the vachetta. But like, when I inspected the bag, it was, I think this is amazing. I got this for a great price, and I just like felt like, you know, I got like the best deal. And this bag was from one of my favorite resellers on eBay. They're called Brandear Auction. I'll go ahead and link them below. Wonderful. I recommend Japanese resellers. There are some that are better than others. I'll go into that in another video. But back to StockX. Should you buy from them? It's a gamble. You might find a great price, and then you might decide that maybe that great price is worth the scuffing, or maybe some frayed stitches, and anything that's really considered more, not really excellent in terms of Fashionphile standards, really more like very good or good standard, you know, according to Fashionphile's standards and conditions. So yeah, with this, I think the back and forth, you know, the main issue was, had I known exactly what minor flaws, I don't know if the stitching is considered minor. I'm gonna bring that into Louis Vuitton this weekend and see what quote they're gonna give me to fix the stitching here, because I'm just concerned, you know, as you know, Louis Vuitton bags and these luxury bags, you invest money in them and you take care of them, and you do expect them to last for decades. You know, that's the beauty of the luxury handbag market. It's like they're classic bags, they're well made, the quality is such that, you know, they should be able to last you many years. So I want to just find out how much it'll cost to repair the stitching. But I just told customer service, I told Shu, I was like, you know, it's really not because he argued, you know, it's not like a brand new bag, it's in excellent condition, but it's not gonna be like it's brand new. And I said, and I responded, yes, I understand that. I was not, you know, I'm not expecting a bag that is brand new. However, I do expect it to be in excellent condition. And a bag that is in excellent condition should not it should not require me to bring it in for repairs. It's the same with sneakers. If you had a pair of sneakers that were pre-owned and they described them as excellent and you didn't really get to see them, but you're gonna understand excellent in your mind means that there's not going to be some type of flaw that requires you to bring it in for repairs. Now, if they had told you, okay, this sneaker is in good condition, there's one flaw, you know, that might require repairs, and you'll say, okay, you already have an idea of what you're getting. But for me, my qualm with StockX is they describe everything, every handbag that they sell as excellent, and everything that passes their standards as excellent. And honestly, I feel like their quality assurance team is not as well, not as detail oriented as, say, the luxury authenticators and the people who, you know, inspect the bags at the, like, Fashionphile, the Real, Japanese resellers. They go over everything with a fine tooth comb under a magnifying glass. They look at every details, all the stitching, all the corners, all the leather, and check for wear, and all the canvas, you know. I feel like Fashionphile, because they are new, they're relatively new in the luxury reseller market, their quality assurance isn't as high or as specific as these other resellers. So their standards for handbags that pass their inspection is really, number one, authenticity, which is good. Verifying authenticity is always important. And number two, as long as it, you know, generally looks good, and not at a very detailed level, like 90% looks good. That's like their level of excellence, I guess. But I'm just saying, I'm not trying to nitpick at StockX. I'm just saying that for their standard of excellence, it really does not compare with other experienced resellers that are out there, that are more well-versed and detail-oriented out there. So yeah, I just want to say, you know, that's kind of my feedback about StockX. It's like, I am relatively happy with this bag. I mean, I decided that I really like it. I just hope that this frayed stitching won't cost too much. StockX/Shoe was able to offer me a small credit. Okay, so here initially, they offered me a $20 credit, either a refund or a credit towards another purchase, which was rather insulting, because I just said, I don't think you know how much people pay for these handbags. So for a handbag that I'm paying, something that I'm paying over $1,000 for, you offering me a $20 credit is kind of, I mean, that's like nothing. And so they did bump it up to a $50 credit, which is okay. But, you know, I mean, depending on how much this repair is going to cost, because I found this frayed stitching after I accepted the $50 credit, based on the other minor, like the scuffing and the denting that I saw and the resin glazing. But yeah, so I'm hoping that that $50 will cover this. Maybe Louis Vuitton, I'll get lucky and they might like do it for free. I don't know. So we'll see how it goes, as you know, I'm not the original owner of this bag, but I'm gonna have high hopes for the customer service at Louis Vuitton as well. And but yeah, so that's kind of like my advice. You know, if you're shopping as a buyer for the pre-owned or pre-loved handbag market, excuse me, I definitely recommend Fashionphile first. If you feel like, you know, you are more comfortable with it and you know what to look for in terms of authenticity, definitely try eBay and the luxury resellers there. I love Brandear. There's a couple of other companies that I really like, and I'll share those below too. But in terms of StockX, you know, you don't really know what you're gonna get. It is a gamble, and I'm just gonna say maybe your bag might not arrive in excellent condition. You might get really lucky and maybe it is excellent. Oh, here's the other thing. They don't require their sellers to include the dust bags. So that for me was a big detractor, and I gave them feedback about that too. I said, you know, this bag came with a dust bag, this bag came with a dust bag, and having all of the accessories and dust bags is super important because that adds more value when you're in the reseller market. The Neo Noe that I received, the first one that I resold, did come with the Louis Vuitton dust bag, so that was awesome. This one didn't come with the dust bag. It didn't come with the dust bag for the bag itself, and it didn't come with that little mini dust bag pouch for the lock and keys. So I did tell them that is a detractor in terms of the luxury handbag resale market, because people want to get the whole experience if they can, right? And so even if I were to resell this bag, you know, I feel like the fact that I don't have the dust bags to go along with it is kind of a detractor for whoever is looking to buy a Louis Vuitton bag. So that's what you need to know. You know, it's like you might not always get the dust bag if you purchase from StockX either. So that's another gamble. Because if you plan on maybe reselling that bag down the road, just kind of know that, you know, you might have to either invest in get another dust bag for it, or, you know, maybe sell it for like a tiny bit less, you know. So that's my feedback. Should you buy from StockX? The choice is yours, but just proceed with caution because they are still fledgling. I feel like they're not as detail oriented. Their standards of what is considered excellent condition is not as high as experienced resellers who have stricter conditions and who pay more attention to detail. I feel like they kind of operate almost like a startup company, so I'm not sure how big they are. Yeah, I do know they're based in Detroit. So their customer service, while they are responsive, it's not going to be an immediate response. You can just expect, you know, maybe a day before, you know, customer service can respond to your email. So that's one thing where I do find that type of like e-commerce business, I think, you know, it's just really, customer service is really like based on email, and there's not a whole lot of like, you can't just call them up. It's very hard to find any other contact information other than their support@stockx.com email for any of your questions. So, you know, that's just kind of my feedback and my experience. Would I recommend StockX? It depends. If you're buying sneakers, yes. If you're buying handbags, I would say don't have too high expectations when you're buying handbags from StockX so you don't get disappointed. I do love this handbag because, I mean, who wouldn't love it? It's a Louis Vuitton Alma BB and is, you know, relatively good condition, but I don't think that it arrived to me in excellent condition. So that's all I'm saying. You know, it's like, it's kind of more of a gamble. You might not get one that's in excellent condition. You might still be very happy with the bag, and yours might not have any stitching issues. So maybe it was just, you know, this particular bag. But yeah, that's my experience. I will share more about other resellers and my reviews and my thoughts and comments on them in my next videos. I will see you next time. Thank you so much for joining me.